Hello, I'm John Bachman. 5 states trying to ban same-sex marriages have been turned away by the Supreme Court today. Without comment, the High Court rejected appeals from Indiana, Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. This decision will bring the total number of states where same-sex marriage is legal to 30, including the District of Columbia, and that could soon expand. Another federal court is expected to rule soon on same-sex marriage bans for 5 more states. Now, an American who contracted Ebola in Liberia is now back here in the States. A plane carrying Ashoka Mukpu, who was working as a cameraman for NBC, landed in Nebraska earlier this morning. He's being treated at the same hospital where an American missionary with Ebola was successfully treated just last month. The first person actually diagnosed with Ebola here in the U.S., Thomas Duncan, has taken a turn for the worse at a Dallas hospital. He's now in critical condition. Dr. Thomas Frieden, head of the CDC, says he understands the worries from Americans around the country, but
the bottom line is that we're stopping Ebola in its tracks in Dallas. We're working throughout the U.S. to increase the level of tracking.
Well, federal health officials are also considering whether to order extra screenings at American airports that may be used by people flying from countries fighting the Ebola outbreak. And ISIS and Kurdish fighters are battling right now over a Syrian town on the Turkish border. The black ISIS flag has been flying over buildings in Kobani, but Kurdish forces say the town has not fallen yet. Battles have been raging there for 3 weeks. On the other side of the border, over a dozen Turkish tanks have taken up positions in case ISIS does finally take that town down and tries to push across the Turkish border. Well, if you ask FBI Director James Comey who the biggest cyber threat to the United States is, he has one answer: China.
There are 2 kinds of big companies in the United States. There are those who've been hacked by the Chinese and those who don't know they've been hacked by the Chinese.
In his 60 Minutes interview, Comey says he can't put a dollar amount on the economic damage to the U.S. economy every year, but says it is in the billions. And one multi-billion-dollar American company is splitting itself in 2. Hewlett Packard is carving itself up. The newly formed HP Inc. will handle the printer and PC side of the business, and current HP CEO Meg Whitman will head up the services-based company called Hewlett Packard Enterprise. HP stock jumped 5% on the news as the markets opened earlier today. And the search has resumed for that Malaysian jet that disappeared more than 6 months ago. 3 ships are being sent out to the Indian Ocean for a year to hunt for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. It vanished on a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board. And it's party time in Norway for a new Nobel Prize winner. Mary Britt Moser celebrated this morning after learning that she was one of 3 winners for the Nobel Prize in Medicine. She won awards along with her husband Edvard, who is in Germany, and American scientist James O'Keefe. They were able to discover the brain's GPS center. Another Newsmax Now update for you in 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. Now back to Midpoint.